Hi children, how are you? Today we are going to learning class 7th geography first lesson, geographical diversity of India. Imagine looking down at India from space. What would you see? A giant, a beautiful country shaped like a diamond. From freezing snowy mountains to scorching golden deserts. From mighty rivers to endless coasts. India is not just one place. It is a land of amazing geographical diversity. In 1984, astronaut Rakesh Sharma proudly told Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, "Sare jahan se acha, better than the whole world." Today, we are going on an exciting journey across this incredible country. Let's welcome to Santish Study Circle. First part, the mighty Himalayas. Our journey begins in the north with the great Himalayan mountain range. Like a massive natural wall stretching about 2,500 kilometers. Do you know how are the Himalayas formed? Millions of years ago, India was part of a supercontinent called Gondwana. It broke away and slowly drifted north. About 50 million years ago, it collided with the Eurasian plate. The land crumbled and rose up like a wrinkled carpet. That's why the Himalayas were born. Even today, India is still pushing northward at about 5 cm per year. So the Himalayas are growing taller by about 5 mm every year. The Himalayas are divided into three main ranges. First one, Greater Himalayas known as Himadri, the highest and most rugged part with peaks over 8,000 meters including Mount Everest and Kanchenjunga. These regions remains covered in snow all year. That is why it is called Himadri. Next, second, Himachal or Lesser Himalayas. Located south of Himadri, it has milder climate. Famous hill stations like Shimla, Mussoorie, Nainital and Darjeeling are here. And third, Shivalik Hills are outer Himalayas. The lowest and outermost range with rolling hills and dense forest. It acts as a transition zone to the northern plains. In summer, melting snow feeds major rivers like the Ganga, Indus and Brahmaputra. That is why the Himalayas are called the water tower of Asia. These mountains are sacred to many cultures and home to unique wildlife. The cold desert of Ladakh. Within the Himalayas lies Ladakh, India's cold desert. Unlike the hot Thar desert, Ladakh is extremely cold, with winter temperatures dropping below -30 degrees Celsius. It receives very little rainfall. The landscape looks like the moon, rocky, barren, with deep valleys and beautiful lakes like Pangong Tso. This area is called Moonland. Yaks are very important here. They provide milk, meat, wool and are used for transport. Despite the harsh conditions, Ladakh has unique wildlife like snow leopards and ancient monasteries. Third one, the fertile Gangetic Plains known as Indo-Gangetic Plains. Coming down from the Himalayas, we reach the vast and fertile Gangetic Plains, also known as Northern Plains. Mighty rivers bring rich minerals, making the soil perfect for farming. Millions of people live here. The flat and land has helped develop excellent road connectivity, rail connectivity and sea transport networks. At night, these plains glow with city lights. Next, fourth, the Great Indian Desert, Thar Desert and Aravalli Hills. Westward lies the Golden Thar Desert. Sand dunes rise high as 150 meters. People here have adapted to water scarcity with traditional methods like tankas and kunds. Nearby stand the ancient Aravalli Hills. one of the oldest mountain ranges in the world. They stop the desert from spreading further east and are rich in minerals. Next, fifth, the Peninsular Plateau. Further south is the large triangular peninsular plateau, an ancient landform surrounded by water on three sides. Hence, it is called peninsula. It is bordered by the Western Ghats. It is a very taller than Eastern Ghats. Eastern Ghats are lower and broken. Rivers like a Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri flow across it, creating beautiful waterfalls. This plateau is rich in minerals, forests and is home to many tribal communities. Next point, India's amazing coastlines. India has a long coastline of over 7,500 kilometers. The west coast stretches from Gujarat to Kerala. It is narrower with the Western Ghats running very close to the Arabian Sea. Rivers here are short and fast flowing. They form estuaries, whereas river meets sea. This coast has many natural harbors, beautiful beaches and important ports. Cities like Mumbai, the financial capital of India, are located here. The east coast lies between the Eastern Ghats and the Bay of Bengal. It is wider with large river deltas. Major rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna and Kaveri deposit fertile soil here. Important lagoons like Chilka and Pulicat lakes are found on this coast. Next point, the delta in West Bengal and the Sundarbans, where the Ganga and Brahmaputra rivers meet the Bay of Bengal. They form one of the largest delta in the world. The Sundarbans delta, half of it lies in the India, in the West Bengal and the rest in Bangladesh. This unique region is a mix of rivers, sea and land. It is famous for its dense mangrove forests and a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The Sundarbans are home to the majestic Royal Bengal tiger and many other species. Next one, the Indian Islands. The Northeast Hills. India also has two major island groups, Lakshadweep, Coral Islands in the Arabian Sea, and the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, volcanic islands in the Bay of Bengal, which include India's only active volcano on Barren Island. In the northeast, the green hills of Meghalaya receive some of the heaviest rainfall in the world and are famous for living root bridges and the cleanest village in Asia, Mawlynnong. From the snowy Himadri to the cold desert of Ladakh, from the fertile plains to the golden Thar, from the ancient plateau to the long coasts and mangrove deltas, India is truly a mini continent. This wonderful geographical diversity has shaped our food, clothes, festivals and culture. Yet, all these different regions are united as one India. Now, think about, if you can, first one, why are the three divisions of the Himalayas are important? How did the collision of plates create the Himalayas? Third, what is the difference between the west and eastern coast? Fourth, why is the Sundarbans so unique? India is truly Sare Jahan Se Acha. If you like the video, please share with your friends. Thank you for watching video. Jai Hind.